Okay, we're almost there. We've looked at Google Drive, navigating Google Drive and creating a form. We've looked at creating a Google Doc, creating Google Sheets, creating Google Forms, and now we're going to look at the presentation tool. So this is similar to PowerPoint or Keynote, and it is the presentation tool. Again, what I love about using the Google presentation tool, even though it's not quite as slick as PowerPoint, is the amazing ways that you can use it as a collaborative tool, so that's just huge. And I'll share a little bit about that as we go along. So we're going to create a Google slideshow. And the way we do that, again, you can just create in your Drive, or you can actually create it in the folder for this lesson. So I'm going to remind you how to create it for the folder in this lesson. I'm going to go to my Drive, find our shared folder, open it up. I've got my other documents here that I've already created. I'm going to click New, and I'm going to go to Google Slides. It's reminding me that it's in the shared folder. So Google Slides starts off, and if you've used PowerPoint or Keynote before, it's going to look fairly familiar to you. It starts off with a widescreen, and you're welcome to use the widescreen. For some reason, I like to use the standard. So I just go over here to the slide size, and I'm going to show you another cool thing you can do with that once we get inside here. You can use the themes that they have here. They're not very exciting, but they're a good start. You can also import themes. You can create something cool and then make it a theme. One thing I like to do is I like to sometimes start off with creating a theme in PowerPoint and then import it in. So then I've just got more robust options for that. But really what I like to do is just click Simple Light, and I use the standard format, and I click OK. So here I am, and then hopefully you know by now the first thing you do is you click on the title, and you go ahead and use your naming convention to name it whatever you need to name it. In this case, Google Basics Slides, and your name. And it's already, we can check, but it's already in our basics folder. If it wasn't, we could put it in the folder now. If you wanted to share it with someone else, you would come over here to share. Okay, so now we're ready to go. You've got a blank slate. This is your presentation slide. Things that you can do. I'm trying to think of the best way to do. So you've got your editing tools here for images and shapes and lines, different backgrounds. You can choose your color for your background themes. You've got your tools. I really love this tool here. We already looked at it when we were looking at Google Docs, but that same research tool can be used over here. Great for adding images because of course a presentation is very visual, so you can add images over there. Videos as well. Very handy. Okay, and then you can add tables. It's all pretty straightforward if you've used a presentation tool before. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. I just wanted to show you the tools. I want to talk about, so like if I want to add another slide, I go to Slide, and I have some options. So I can do New Slide, and you'll see that it starts off with this format, but if I want a different layout, if I go to Slide and I go to Apply Layout, I can change my layout to something else. Sometimes I just want a big blank canvas to work with. Okay. Another nice thing to know about this slides is because in Google Docs, I'm sorry, I'm having some housework done and they're making noise. In Google Docs, sometimes you can't get your pictures and your images to line up the way you want. Maybe you're making a poster or something like that. You can actually use Google Slides because you can put your pictures wherever you want, resize them, images, that kind of thing. A little bit easier using this tool than the doc tool. So that's something to remember. The other thing I wanted to share with you, just because it's cool, think about maybe you want to create a book, and your book is going to be like 8.5 by 11 sheet pages. Maybe you're even going to print this book out. So if I go to File and I go to Page Setup, it starts with my standard that we picked. But if I click, I have the option of Custom. So I can make my my thing. I can make it. Did I do that right? 8.5 by 11. I didn't do that right. I did it the wrong direction. So this would be landscape. But if I go here, I can also, oops, sorry, hit the wrong button. If I go here, I can get a page set up and I can make it portrait, which is really what I was trying to do. So 8.5 by 11, or any other size that you want. And then you get slides that look like this. Great for creating a book or something like that. So again, I went to File, Page Setup, and I went to Custom under the different ones, and I chose 8.5 by 11 to make my slide. So I want to show you that. Again, I talked about the research tool. So let's say I was doing a project on dogs. I always have to throw in my Great Dane here. So I click in that. It's going to give me some pictures of dogs. It's going to give me some information about dogs. Because it's really visual, I would like to use images. I want my images, because I'm going to publish this, I want them to be free for me to share. If I was just doing a presentation in class, this actually keeps the information so that I could use the pictures in a publication because I have that link associated with it as well. So I can change the size, and I just drag right in there, and I can use them in my presentation. And there's some other editing tools. There's cropping the image. I can actually do shapes. So this is going to be funky there, but I can change the shape. Actually, it turned out looking pretty good. I can do some really fun things like that. So that's, once I have an image in there, if I click on it, I've got some editing tools. So I can do some different things like that. I can reset the image. I can add links. Again, we've got our commenting tool. So this is great if people, if you've got kids who are working on a presentation together and they each have a portion that they're supposed to do, they can comment on the other portions. Slides is really great for that because you can assign a slide to each student and then they work on their slide, and in the end you have a whole presentation. So maybe, and I've done this with teachers, we did one on celebration of learning, and everybody had their own slide and they shared their little piece, and then we had this whole presentation on how students are learning in the Mount Vernon School District. So that's a very cool way to use this tool in a collaborative way. It doesn't have to just be just a PowerPoint presentation. It can be very collaborative. You could collect information from students for a quiz or something like that too, where they each have to, you've got questions they have to answer, that kind of thing. Lots of different ways. You can start the students with a template that you've already said, on this slide I want you to do this, on this slide I want you to do that, and then you can share that template with them. and they can create their own. Lots of different options here for doing that. So for this particular activity, there's so much I'd like to share, but a lot of it is stuff that you can figure out on your own. We might do a whole session on slideshows at some point, and I'll show you some more cool tools. One other thing I wanted to show you, if you want to insert a video, you can insert, you'll see you can insert word art, shapes, images, all kinds of things. If you want to insert a video, it has to be a YouTube video. You can search for the video using the video search, and it'll pop up with videos. You can also you can already have a video in mind and then use the URL for that video in here. I'm going to just say I want this one here, or this one. This is the one I want. Let me click select, and that video will show up right in my slideshow. Now, if I'm creating something for students, I might want to start by creating my own video. Make sure I upload it to my YouTube account, and then you can pop those things in here. So if I want to see if that works, if I click on present, lost it. There we go. And where'd it go? And so the video plays right in the thing. This is great for creating a lesson and you just want clips of things that you want to share and then ask questions. It does work. I'm not hitting the right thing. And then when I want to exit, I can do that. So a lot of great tools with the presentation. For this particular assignment, what I would like for you to do is we'll go back to the beginning here. I'm going to delete this. I would like for you to create a this I believe. Okay, and then you can say by your name. And then I would like, and you can doctor this up, make it look however you want. It can be as simple as you want. You're practicing. But create a slideshow with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 slides in it, and with some things you believe about teaching and students. Okay? So it can be just text. You can add images. You could add videos. Things you believe about teaching and students. I believe all students can learn. And maybe I want to put a picture of learning in here. And I come up with some images. My internet's getting a little bit compromised right here. So it comes up with some images. I want to make sure they're free to use. I can pick one. And now if you don't, and right now my internet's a little, if you don't want to, if you have a picture on your computer or you don't want to use a research tool to put in an image, if I go to slide and new slide, I can go to insert and go to image. And I have other options here. So I can get something from my Google Drive, from a URL. I can actually take a picture if I've got a webcam, or I can upload something from my computer. So you can get to images the same way you would. So here's your assignment. You're creating a slideshow, this I believe, with 3 or 4 or 5, however many you want, statements about what you believe about teaching and learning. Make sure it's shared in the shared folder for this course, and you're good to go. Play around. learn new things, and enjoy using Google Docs. I just remembered a couple of things I wanted to share before I stop. Sorry. A couple other things that are good to know. So you've got your presentation here. If you go to File, you can publish this to the web. Obviously, I'm not ready to publish it to the web, but this will provide me with a link or an embed code. So again, I can publish this presentation right on my website, my blog, that kind of thing. That's very helpful. So students have their lesson right there in front of them that you created, and it's on the website. That is important to know. So that is Google Slides. I look forward to looking at your This I Believe slides in your presentation.